Brady A.
Hey, run that thing up.
Welcome to another episode of the Grade A Show, episode 17. I'm with my guy Mike today, and we talking strictly NBA playoffs. All the home teams won game one, fellas. Ladies and gents, everybody watching, make sure y'all like the channel, subscribe. You see the socials down below. Let's get into it. Where you want to start, Mike? Lakers and Nuggets, game one?
Yeah, sure. We can start there.
What happened? Listen, I want to say, like, shout out to the Lakers, man. They went out and they fought. It kind of reminded me the same thing of last year, where every game was a close one until the end, and it just seemed like when Jokic just turned on that switch, and Mike Malone made a couple of adjustments and a couple key timeouts they had in that game one, and there was just nothing that the Lakers could do.
Yeah, no, I honestly, for the first half of that game, I thought the Lakers were gonna win it the way they were playing. They had a command and 5 to even 7-point lead at some points, but the second half definitely went the Nuggets' favor. But LeBron played great as always. The dude is timeless.
You talk about AD too, man. He did everything he could. You know, D'Angelo Russell was straight dog shit though.
Yeah. Not like the playing game for him, where Russell, I believe he came out with 15 points out of the gate in the playing game.
I think that's going to be the biggest. I think that's going to be the biggest X factor for the Lakers is D. Russell. A little bit of Austin Reeves and a little Hachimura too. I think LeBron and AD is going to do what they do, but it matters about the others.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long series, man. Another thing too, Jamal Murray looked real good out there, man.
In the second half, he looked good.
Yeah. Just as far as for me, it was as far as like the body movement and stuff like that. Just because I know the Nuggets sat him down a little bit towards the end of the regular season and stuff like that. But just the way he was moving around on that court, man, it looked pretty good. So it's going to be a long series. I still got the Lakers in 7, man. They looked real good game one. I think that they just, they're going to make a few adjustments. I hope D'Angelo Russell comes out and plays a little bit better, man. What you had on that series?
I got Nuggets. I didn't do a game number, but I'll say it right now, it was 6. But once again, as I said on Saturday, would not surprise me if the Lakers won it all. It wouldn't catch me off guard. I could definitely see it happening.
Yeah, I could say the same thing, man. Like I said before, I'm afraid that the Nuggets may not be as motivated as they were last season, racing to get their first title. They might be. This is just my opinion. And I do think the Lakers is going to give them a tough battle this round. I mean, I see it going 7 games, but if it goes 6 and Nuggets win, I like you said, I wouldn't be surprised and stuff like that. If the Lakers make a few adjustments, I think they'll be good. Good to go. Let's get to the 76ers and the Knicks. The Knicks won game 1, 111-104. We've talked about this before. Joel Embiid, he buckled that knee. Falling to the ground was I thought every time I see him move on the floor, man, it's just a scary moment, and I don't know. I don't know. I hope Philly takes him out. I hope they lose so he doesn't have to go deeper in the playoffs, because I think honestly it's going to be a lingering thing. Even if they make it deep in the playoffs, I'm not saying Eastern Conference Finals, but I think if he continues to play on that leg, even if they make the second round, I think it's going to hinder him, for one, playing in the Olympics this summer, and for two, playing into probably the beginning of the next season. I hope the surgeons did a good job on that knee, because it looks doesn't look too good. Either that or the organization rushed him.
Yeah. I think the organization rushed him without a doubt. I don't think it's the surgeons there. I'm sure the surgeons told him to just wait until the fall if you can.
I mean, my thing is that and B gotta know, but I think he's just being arrogant. Like, damn well, even if he was 100% healthy, you ain't have no chance.
No. I don't think, as I said on Saturday too, there's no reason for him to play on Team USA this summer. They'll still get the gold without him. They don't need him. I know Canada's got a strong team this year, but
who do you think will take his place? We would need another big because we would only have Bam and AD. And Karl Anthony Towns is kind of like banged up, but
he's hurt too.
I think he plays for DR.
Yeah, because Gobert pays for France.
The next person I would think in line is maybe Chet.
Yeah, that would be crazy to have a young dude like that doing it.
Shoot, I wouldn't mind it.
For a good game last night too.
I wouldn't mind it, man. But yeah, shout out those Knicks, man, for winning Game 1. We talked about it before, Mike. Nick Nurse did make the adjustment with putting a wing on
a very good adjustment too.
Yeah. So I think that's the best thing you could do to contain him as much as you can. Obviously, it still wasn't enough. They threw a couple of double teams at him that game. We've seen some pretty good looks on the defensive end from Philly. But that's when the others started coming involved a little bit more for the Knicks with DiVincenzo and Josh Hart and stuff like that. The 3-ball was opening up for them and stuff like that. So another thing I noticed that the Knicks did, they pulled Joel Embiid out of the paint a lot so the lane could open up for them and stuff. So let's see, man. Game 2 is going to be an adjustment for them.
Shout out to McBride too for stepping up for the Knicks in that game. He was very clutch off the bench for the Knicks.
That dude's been huge.
Yeah.
This was big, man. Timberwolves beat the Suns 120-95, Game 1.
No surprise to me. I think KD will show that championship grit, clean sweep.
I mean, the thing is, it's kind of crazy because I think KD did his thing, but I feel like he could have did more.
He did a good job.
I feel like he could have did better on the defensive end. He could have did more. We know age is a factor and stuff like that. But you're playing against somebody who says that you're their GOAT.
Yeah, you see Anthony Edwards going up in his face too after hitting the 3 there.
Listen,
the 3 in a row, I believe it was.
I tell you this right now, man. I don't think Devin Booker's gonna have a game like he did last game. I think he only had 18 points on like 6 or 16 or shooting. He had a horrible shooting night, and Bradley Beal only had about 15 points. I don't think they're gonna have that bad of a game. Well, Booker, I should say. But if Anthony Edwards stays on the tear that he's on right now, Naj Reid was hitting big shots. Karl Anthony Towns looked good out there. Rudy Gobert was doing some a lot of mid-range movements, hit a couple mid-range shots, was surprising to me. I forgot what I had called. I think I had, correct me if I'm wrong, you may not remember, but I think I had Minnesota in 6 or 7.
Yeah, I know I didn't give a game number for it. I just picked Minnesota, so you could have done the same too. Because we only really on Saturday went over the game. Well, that game was on Saturday, actually. I take that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of Frank Vogel at all.
Oh, I can't stand the guy. I think he's one of the worst coaches in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what adjustments that they're going to be able to make. I mean, KD can only do but so much, but Booker having a game that he did, Bradley Beal having a game that he did, they're bound to go down as one of the worst big threes that we ever saw.
Yeah.
Let's just call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
Magic and Cavaliers. The Cavs won 97-83. I think it was just an experience thing, the lack of experience for Orlando, in my opinion. There were times go ahead, Mike.
Very poor shooting from Orlando too, I noticed.
It was poor shooting, but I think it was bad IQ movements and IQ shots, IQ just takes that they was having. You notice at some points during the game where there was a lot of rush shots. There was a lot of bad transition plays that Orlando had, where it just showed the lack of experience from them. We'll really be able to see game 2 for a lot of these teams, where it comes versus experience and inexperienced teams and stuff like that, off of adjustments and stuff. But I think right off the gate, it was pretty tight. I know Orlando got it a little bit close after the second half and stuff like that, but I think with Donovan Mitchell and his experience over there, he just kind of took it up a notch and stuff like that. So, who we had yesterday? Yesterday was kind of a boring day, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of blowouts.
Every game was a blowout. I think my favorite game, and we could start with this one. My favorite game was the Pelicans and the Thunder last night.
That was neck and neck the whole way.
Yeah, and I think everybody watching could vouch for that. If they watch the games and stuff like that. At times, the same thing with Orlando. You saw with OKC and their inexperience of certain turnovers they were having. One person that showed up real big was Chet. Shout out Chet. He had a huge block towards the end of regulation, like almost a minute left in the fourth quarter. The Pelicans could have took that game. If you seen that last shot where CJ McCollum took the three, and then he went under the defender to try to take a one-step forward three. I mean, we know we can't lean into players like we do anymore in the NBA and stuff like that. But I think if he would have just went straight up and let him jump right into him, CJ McCollum would have had 3 shots at the line.
Yeah, Tatum got a few of those calls yesterday that weren't going in necessarily his shooting path, where he veered off to the right and left. So it would have been worth McCollum to at least try it. At that point. I was not a fan of that play that Willie Green drew up at all, though, and I'm a big Willie Green fan. I love him as a coach. I did not like that play for the end of the game last night.
That reminded me of a Mazzulla play when Tatum holds the ball for like 24 seconds.
Right out of my mouth. Yep. I thought the same thing.
I think it's fair to say the Pelicans miss Zion. I do think that if Zion was there, the Pelicans probably would have took game 1.
I still got the Pelicans taking the series, man. I didn't get to say that on Saturday, but
Pelicans taking the series?
Yeah, I alluded to it a little bit. I think that experience is going to hinder them, and the Thunder didn't really have the best end to the year that they could have had. And since Zion's been out in the game on Friday and the game last night, what I see is the Pelicans play great team basketball. You could have 4, 5, even 6 guys with double-digit points every night. So it's just evenly distributed. It's good team ball being played. And Willie Green's showed us he can make some noise with a group of guys, a 7-8 seed before. He's done it before. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, shout out Willie Green over there, man. He's doing his thing. He's been doing his thing because he's been there about 3 seasons. He's been doing his thing over there. I think another X factor and another thing that's going to hinder OKC is Chet's really slimmed down low. He's really long, 7'2", 7'3", but Valanciunas is a big body down there. You've seen a lot last night where New Orleans had a ton of offensive rebounds due to that factor. Once Chet came out of that game, you just seen it a lot there that OKC's pretty small. So it's tough, man. It's tough. I got OKC winning the series in 7. I think it's going to be a tight series, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pelicans win due to the reason that you stated of the inexperience of OKC.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed yesterday, this goes among the first 3 games on Sunday. I know none of the teams got within really 10 points of any of them, but you can't be letting teams back into the end of games like that. Mavs almost came back against the Clippers. Heat almost come back against the Celtics. And even the Pacers, they made it a little bit within the realm of a possibility of comeback at the end. You can't do that. Like, look at Dame Lillard, 35 points in the first half, none in the second. You can't do that, man. Come on now.
Yeah, you. We could talk about that game next to Pacers and the Bucks, but you could specifically see that Damian Lillard wasn't trying to score that second half. And this is what I said earlier. We'll see how these teams make adjustments because Indiana's going to come out different. Miami's going to come out different with no Jimmy Butler. And damn sure Dallas is going to come out different because we never seen Dallas shoot the way they shot the first half against the Clippers. Milwaukee did look really good. Bobby Portis, he's a finalist for the 6th Man of the Year. Shout out to him. He's been looking real good, especially since the All-Star break. He's been balling out over there for Milwaukee. They played a very, very good defensive game, but again, Indiana was missing shots the same way as Mavs was missing shots. The same way Miami was. Well, Miami wasn't really missing shots; they was just getting their ass whooped at the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indiana. You seen Indiana pick it up a notch the second half. They was playing like their more style of basketball, running in transition, taking up quick threes. Halliburton was being more aggressive with the ball and stuff like that. So we got to see a pretty good clip of that stuff. But like you said, to have 35 points in the first half and 0 in the second, I mean, it's the playoffs. I want to see guys turn on the switch and not turn it back off. You know what I'm saying? Keep that switch on. I understand they had like a 30 or 20 something point lead, but you know, at the same time, it was good to see Middleton out there getting a little bit more, you know, running a little bit more burn, get some more shots up. Same thing with Bobby Portis. Brook Lopez looked real good out there and stuff like that. But Indiana's gonna come with some fire game 2. So
They gotta play their style of basketball and shoot you out of the gym.
What's good, Clippz?
Nah, I know everybody was big on Indy, and I told you, yo, listen.
I'm still sticking with Indy.
That Bucks team, right? Without Giannis on the floor, they played. And I Pace, I'm gonna give you some credit because I was hating on your man Bobby Portis. I still hate him, but
I told you I was gonna get you too. Good.
But I will say this: when Giannis is not on the floor and Dame's allowed to like run the offense the way, shoot first, not have to attack the basket, feed Giannis going downhill, they play a lot better.
And
I've
a
lot better without Giannis. So
I've stated that numerous of times in plenty of episodes. The ball movement, Damian Lillard just looks different. It looks more like a Portland team when Giannis is not on the floor. So sometimes I do got a question: is Giannis holding Dame back? You know, Giannis is still doing his thing out there with Dame out there on the floor. But it looks different when Giannis is there as far as Dame's numbers.
Does that speak more to Giannis's game or Dame's game? Because if he's still playing like he played in Portland and Milwaukee, does that really, like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
I would say that it would speak more to Dame's game because again, Giannis is still doing what he does out there with somebody to his caliber, not of course in height or dominance in the paint, but somebody that could put up 30 to 35 points a game, somebody that could be a top 5 MVP when Damian Lillard's real hot and really on that tear throughout the whole season back in his days in Portland. But I think Damian Lillard still needs more time to adjust having that co-star to his caliber because he's not looking the same when he's on the floor.
I think he needs to, adjust that game a little bit. Like, off ball needs to work a little. Like, he needs to work off ball a lot more. Like, when Giannis is on the court, you can't, like, obviously seen Dame had the ball in his hand like a hefty amount of times last night. Like, that was Portland Dame, and I feel like he's came to Milwaukee still in that Portland mode, and he hasn't really clicked into like, all right, well, this is Giannis. He's the younger star. Giannis is the younger star. He's the more dominant force. Let me try to work my game around him. Instead, he's trying to like I feel like they're just trying to throw it all in together, and it doesn't work.
No, I mean, I could definitely agree with you. You make a good point there talking about playing off ball. I would love to see something like that. And then another thing, too, you got to take into factor is that Doc Rivers is used to having an assist point guard. James Harden, Rajon Rondo, Chris Paul, not a scoring first point guard. So I would like to see maybe Patrick Beverley at the 1.
Dame at the 2.
Dame at the 2. Or sometimes in certain transitions, off of the defensive rebound, Giannis bringing the ball up, doing what he does, and then dishing out the Dame on the 3. You know? But yeah, who you had next? Y'all want to do Celtics and Heat?
Sure.
We could talk about the. We could talk about the match.
That was the biggest blowout of the night, right?
Which one?
Well, all yesterday games were blowouts until like after the first half. But arguably, yeah, the Celtics. I think they won by 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I stated from before, I don't really give a shit about what the hell they do this game. Next, listen, every game. This is still the regular season to me.
First round, I get what you're saying.
This is still the regular season to me. There's no Jimmy Butler. There's no Terry Rozier. There's no excuses. To be up 30 points or it was close to about 30 points.
It was 29.
29 points by the first half. To still even there was times where Miami came back within maybe like
13.
10 to 13 points and stuff like that. But you could just tell the Boston settling. You could just tell the laziness on transition defense for them running back and up and down the court. Little things like that is not going to get it done in the finals. I don't give a damn who you guys are playing. You go against Denver like that, it's not going to happen. You go against the Clippers, you see what the hell they was doing to Dallas last night without Kawhi. You do that against them, that's not going to happen. You know, I still think they need a lot more maturing to do, man. But I think hopefully this postseason does that. I do hate that Jimmy Butler's not there because I feel like that would have made the Celtics be more alert. To have Orlando and Cleveland next round, let's be real. It ain't really no competition for Boston. So I'm afraid that when we get to the finals, if we make it to the finals, hopefully, you know, they up their notch with their chemistry more, their IQ more, and making better decisions. Because there was still times, even though they won by 20, what I seen last night, where they were just making stupid ass plays.
Yeah.
There was about like 28, and they had like 3 turnovers in a row, and Al was going at it on the court.
You know, I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. I think the X factor is still, like I stated before last episode, is still Jason Tatum. Forget about everybody else. Like, yeah, of course, Porzingis makes a huge difference on that team. But if Tatum wants to go out there and play like he did against Golden State back in 2022, it's not going to happen. Straight up. It's not going to happen.
I mean, hey, shout out to him for having his first career playoff triple-double. But
he had a good all-around game yesterday with that, without a doubt. But
I'll just say, with the Celtics, Joe, and I ain't going to hold you. I'm going to blame a little bit on Joe. Because your coaching, when you up on, like, we all know, when we up third, like, when in basketball, when you up and then you start to dwindle that lead down and coach call that timeout, he is chewing y'all out. What the f- y'all doing? Transition defense, pointless turnovers, not stopping the ball in transition and just watching people throw up threes. Not everybody's not crashing for a rebound. Joe, and when those moments happen and you call that first timeout, Joe, you need to get into their ass on that bench, bro. I'm sorry.
But Joe's not that type of person. He's not that type of man. We're talking about an individual person, a man. We're talking about he's not that type of dude to go into your face. You got to figure
something out because you can't allow them to do that. You can't allow your team, because it's gonna fall on him at the end of the day, regardless of what we're gonna say. They're gonna look at players and they're gonna look at coaching. You cannot allow your players to come into be up 30 and to dwindle a 30-point lead to 13. They went on I think they went on like a 28-4 run or something like that.
There was a point where they was up about 20. Miami probably cut it down to maybe they scored they was on like an 8-0 run, close to 10-0 run or something like that. And Mazzulla didn't call a timeout at all, and he had 3. I forgot. I don't recall which quarter it was. But he had timeouts. And I'm tired of seeing these guys go through these motions where you guys are all there watching on the side of the court. Mazzulla, you're right there.
And don't nobody say nothing.
And another thing I noticed, too, is I'm not a fan when you're up 30 in the fourth, you put the bench guys in. Because if the lead dwindles down to 10, 15, that's okay. Put the starters back in then. But look at those bench guys in there. Fresh. They want to get some playoff stats. They're going to be more focused than those starters are in that situation.
And that's very true. I mean, you see it all the time. You see it in the body language, like I said earlier. Once these guys go up by 30 points, you see they're not running that fast back on defense. They're not boxing out when the shot goes up. the basketball 101 fundamentals things. Once a lot of not even just the Celtics, a lot of these teams nowadays, maybe besides like the Denvers, maybe besides like the OKC, because they run and gun, man. You see a lot of these teams, they go up by 20, 25 points, and they're not doing the basic things that we all learned to do when we first started playing ball.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this though. Joe, when they was up about 29 and then Miami started coming back, they kept that starting five in there.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the exception of probably, I want to say Derek White. Because I remember Derek White checking in at like 4 minutes or something.
I think Pritchard or Hauser had a lot of minutes.
And that's my thing. Is like I get my thing, and this is what I don't understand with Joe. If they're doing in the lead down from 29-30 with your starters and -1, you need to call that timeout to readjust to talk to your team. Y'all cannot be the starting line of minus Derek White, and y'all are playing lackadaisical. And I didn't even accept that from Drew Holiday last night. And it was like, come on, bro. Like, anybody should know you are a champion. You won a ring. You was a staple in winning that championship, bro. There's no way that. You know what I mean? Like, y'all can't do that.
And sometimes you've seen, especially with his shot takes he was having in that game one, where it was just like, dude, you've been here before. Some of the stuff he was doing just didn't make sense. Real quick on Tatum, I mean, shout out to him. I would like to see this more, and not really specifically the triple-double stats, but he was mixing it up a little bit. He's shooting a three here and there, taking it into the lane. Porzingis was bringing Bam out to the perimeter, which helped the lane open for Brown and Tatum. He was taking back-to-back mid-range turnaround jump shots and stuff like that. I mean, it looked good. I would like to see that more.
Yeah, definitely.
The court vision that Tatum had yesterday was phenomenal, I thought. The ball handling, too. Like, if you play like that, I'm just going to give you flowers. I'm not going to chew your ass out like I do every week on the show. If he starts being like that and playing high IQ basketball, I liked what I saw out of him yesterday.
I mean, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, man. You don't need to score 30 every night, especially with that team that you got over there. So,
you stop missing easy layups, because that was another thing.
That's what him and JB. That stuff be killing me sometimes.
Miss easy layups and allowed to give up a three on the other end, bro.
Yeah. That's because you got his hands up like this on the other end.
Like, you gotta finish on that other end, because you already know how this league go. You miss an easy chipper, they're coming down 4-on-3, and they're gonna turn it into a three.
And I don't like Tatum in too with a minute left and they're up by 18 points. You saw him come down hard there. Luckily, he didn't hit his head on the court because he was arched enough in his back. But I don't like them in that situation. If you're up 18 with a minute, put the borderline G League guys in, like Springer and those guys. I mean, no reason for him to be out there.
I mean, all these coaches and all these players should be aware enough of the injuries that has been happening. Being up 18 with just a minute left, I mean, come on.
I feel what they was trying to say was like Joe was playing, I guess, because the starters ain't played together in like the last how long, because they secured the first seed, that Joe was already he had them play the whole fourth for a good majority of the fourth because he wants them to get back into playing large lump sum of minutes.
Which is fine, but we'll see.
Be mindful of how people play.
We'll see. Miami's definitely going to come. Coach Bo's going to come game 2, and they're going to be adjusted.
Oh, yeah, because they was talking
game's going to be a lot closer. Game 2.
Tyler Hero no-showed, too, game 1. That's not good. Don't expect that the whole series.
I mean, I expect Tyler Hero to shoot that way because he's going to be the focal point of that, of getting the offense going besides Bam.
Yeah, him. He really doesn't have no choice.
Him and Bam are literally like they're like they have no choice but to. You know what I mean? Like, because nobody else is gonna get that team going. Rozier's not there. Jimmy's not there. Who else is gonna get the team going?
Jacques Jr. did a good job yesterday trying to get him going.
But he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's a rookie. You're relying on a rookie to get y'all going.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough for the Heat. I just think that Coach Spo is gonna make some adjustments defensively. I'm definitely looking forward to, because he didn't play a lot of zone this game, so I think that's gonna become a game 2. Last but not least, the Mavericks and the Clippers. Clippers won 109-97. Same thing. First half,
It
was
won't go
a
like that the next game.
absolutely not.
And I say that because James Harden is not. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, we're not. I don't think Jason Kidd is coaching, is game planning for James Harden to hit 6 threes the way he did last night. I don't think
Yeah.
he game plan for that at all.
We got to remember too that James Harden, it's always in the beginning stages of the postseason where he's always doing. He did the same thing last year in the series against Boston. But what happened when game 6 or game 6 and stuff like that? So I'm not expecting this from him every game. It was good to see the others like Terrence Mann. Zubac out there was pretty good, was balling out there and stuff like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed in Derek Lively and Gafford. Like I get the early foul trouble and stuff like that, but
we could throw PJ Washington in there too.
Yeah, y'all cannot be allowing Zubac out of all like
we talked about before, the inexperience. Gafford's never been to the postseason. PJ Washington, I don't believe, has ever been to the postseason. And we're only saying it's only game 1, so we'll see it more game 2, game 3, game 4 down the line. But it was bad. Luka was missing shots. Kyrie wasn't getting getting his rhythm going and stuff like that. Nobody could hit. The second half looked real good. But like you stated, I don't think it's going to be the same thing.
They need to move the ball. They need to move the ball. At points when they were running, when the Clippers were running the zone, like I would think as a high-level point guard, like Luke, like come on, y'all got to get the passes out early, make the smart skip pass to make people react. That's the only way you're going to score against the zone. You're not going to keep running that pick and roll, and Luka, you're going to pump fake in the midi, turn around, and then look out to pass it to somebody. That doesn't work. That stagnant offense is not going to work.
I think Zubac could be an X factor this series too. The Mavericks don't really have anyone that can match up with him. Lively, he's shown good points, but not overall. I don't think. I think he's just such a big body that they can't match up with him.
And that's the crazy thing we was talking about, how the Mavs got bigs and stuff like that. And I mean, now it's coming to show. It's really going to show in this series of what they could do. Even though Zubac is not a pivotal big, but he's a big guy down there. But we'll see. Game 2, I feel like it's going to be different. I still have Mavs winning this series, and I believe I stated 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Tonight we got Magic. We'll make a quick pick tonight before we get out of here. We got Magic and Cavs. Who y'all got?
Magic.
I got the Cavs. I think the Magic might get swept, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
crazy.
I might have to go with Cleveland tonight. Just
reason why I don't think that's gonna happen. We started Jonathan Isaac. We're just filling it out for the first game. I don't think they're going with that lineup again. They might go Paulo, Isaac, Franz, Wendell, and then Suggs. Because Suggs had a horrible shooting night, so I don't think he's gonna. He's not going into game 2 with the I'm gonna score aspect. He's going to be the facilitator. Now this is the game where we're gonna see Franz and Paulo and probably one other piece like get the
do their thing. Yeah.
Being a Gonzaga fan, Jalen Suggs just left me in a bad taste in my mouth after that college championship game a few years ago. So I don't have much faith in him in big moments.
Oh man, who we got? 76ers and Knicks, game 2.
I got Knicks. The reason, and the only reason is because, boy, when you playing in New York, it get loud.
They do get crazy down there. You ain't lying.
It get loud. It get crazy. And 2 and B, bro, they better shit his ass. I love him to death, but there's a couple play again when you're dealing with an injury like that. You can't jump, you can't get lift. He's a big that needs to get lift on that jump shot if he's gonna be shooting threes when he's tired. Because there was in probably like 6-7 range. And I'm like, yo, Maxi, just get the ball, take over, and they're still going to Embiid, and they're pulling Embiid. I remember like two positions in a row. Embiid pulled a midi, a three, and then another three, and them shits was all like front rim. Like he tired, he ain't getting no lift, and I didn't even know that they ain't got no other big. So
you could tell every time it's a timeout or they throwing the ball. He's on his knees.
that's why I said they're gonna sit him. If they sit him, they definitely not winning. So I got Knicks either way. But I would say if y'all want to play him, you need to tell him to slow down and tell Maxi to stop playing so passive in the fourth quarter. Stop looking to defer to Embiid in the fourth. You are the number 2 for a reason. You need to pick that bag up, put it on your shoulders, and carry him to a win. Because realistically, yes, that game, he could have took over that game and Philly could have won that game.
Yeah, because Maxi was going off.
He literally deferred to Embiid about 4 possessions in a row.
I got Knicks, man.
I got Knicks as well. I think 5 max should be a clean sweep because Embiid Philly just shut Embiid down, man. There's no reason for him to be out there.
Yeah.
That was scary what happened the other day. It was a phenomenal dunk, but that was scary, man. You see the look on his face after he went down? It didn't look like he was okay. You see him on the ground like this, like
you gotta think he's 7. He's like what, 7'1"? 280,
all that weight coming down.
That's for a knee surgery, bro. That is not ideal to be running and jumping. Like I get it, they athletes, they superhuman, they work on their junk every day. They're not like the average human, but still, bro, they are human. I
don't know, man. I listen, every time, like I said before, every time I watch him play, man, I feel like something's gonna happen, man. But hopefully not. Last but not least, Lakers and Nuggets. I think the Lakers are gonna pull out a win today in Denver. I got Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I said I had Lakers beating Denver, and I'm not wavering from that. Only because of 2 reasons. LeBron and AD, man, they showed out first game. They came out punching. The only missing piece was that third star between AR and D'Lo. AR was just looking a little off to me. He looked like he just really didn't. He was trying to find his spot and he couldn't. D'Lo, shit in the bed, bro. Shitting the bed, bad.
Hopefully they papped his ass up back in the locker room after that game 1, man. Mike, who you got?
Tonight I'm gonna go with Denver. I think you'll see the Lakers even the series out after they go back home, and I got Denver at 6. I think it'll just go 2-2-2. 2 wins for Denver, 2 for the Lakers, 2 for Denver.
We'll see, man. Make sure y'all like the channel, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. You see the socials down there. We still doing a grade A giveaway. We're gonna do the live drawing this Saturday. Comment down below, grade A giveaway if you want to enter. You can enter 20 times, 100 times, 500 times. Your name will be entered that many times. Like the channel, subscribe. We out.
I will say this, though, before we go. Best series so far to me, Pels OKC. That's it.
Peace.
Grade A. Hey, run that thing up.